Hey beautiful YouTubers, it's Tess, and on this layer I'm going to do a very thin reddish color. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my super thin purple Mottling, which I still have, and I'm just going to add red to it and then a little bit more thinner. I like to kind of waste less paint like that. You know, add to the colors I already have sitting out. And it should give you kind of a blood red. Then we add more thinner, and it's going to be a little thicker than the two Mottling layers we did before. And this isn't your main Mottling or anything. This is just the very under the skin stuff. This would probably be as far as I would go with like an older baby maybe. But then again, I don't think older babies would have the purple and yellow Mottling. I haven't done an older baby really. I think the biggest baby I've done is Blair, and she's a zombie, so. I've made 23-inch babies, and that's the biggest I've done. Alright, so you probably can't see this color, but as I keep telling you guys, this is not a tutorial, this is a watch me reborn, because some people like to. I don't know. I don't think I'm that entertaining. First, we have a couple things to do on the face. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? That'll work. Alright, and this you'll either need like, I can just use my flat brush. Yeah, just any kind of flat brush will work. Take a little bit of your reddish color and dab it off. And we are going to first line the lips. I'm actually going to use my thinner brush to do the lining part. Such horrible lighting. Okay, and then you blend inward. And this is a great step to tell if your mottling is if your color is too heavy. And I think mine is. But on the lips it's always okay, because the lips are going to need to be darker anyway. So like those lips are pretty dark. And first I'm going to blend, and then I'm going to take my flat brush and make sure I don't have streaks. Alright, so now the lips are a little bit more red. They're still going to need more layers though. And I can tell my paint's a little bit thick, so I'm going to add some thinner. And that's why it's always great to start with the lips, because the lips are going to be darker anyway. And then the next darkest spot would be the nose when it comes to like the blushing and stuff. So I go over the bottom of the nose and inside the nostrils. And then on the outside, just kind of out, like almost like a little oval around where you did the purple in the center of the lip, I do just a little bit of this crimson red. And blend. And at this point I think I'm pretty sure I have a good color here, so I'm going to go over the chin. I'm going to do above the eye again like I did in the last step with the purple. And then just kind of like in the groove of the eye. And that adds a lot of depth to the open-eyed babies. It's got much more depth in the eye now. Okay. And then here, we're gonna go from here on the face and just kind of go like that. Hello, acne. That's what happens when you're around the oven constantly with that humidity blowing in your face, but you're just gonna go like this, not over here, just like that. All the way down to like the chin area. And blend. And then the same thing on the other side. Alright. And now we're going to get a smaller brush and we're going to go inside the ears. Actually, you know what? In this layer, we'll go ahead and do, go all around the ears and then blend really well. And inside. And then in other layers, I go more inside the ears to shade the depth of the ears. Not a lot of people do this, but I find it looks a lot more realistic when the ears are slightly more red than the rest of the face. Make sure you get in there. Alright. Already starting to come to life a little bit. Have some more lively features in the face. Blue undertones, I think. Blue undertones and then the blushing near the end is what really brings them to life. A lot of people say mottling, but I like blue undertones and blushing. Alright, so we're going to leave them like that. And there are a lot of steps in this layer. Alright, now in this, we're going to do whatever this means for your baby, if it's closed fist or open fist. You want the entire inside of the hand to be blended really well in this reddish color, and then the tips of the fingers. You see how mine are really red? That's mostly because I'm super pale and because I'm painting and using my hands a lot right now. But yeah, in this layer, I like to do the inside of the hands and the tips of the fingers. Sometimes I go over the knuckles. I need to make sure I only do that in a couple layers though, because they're a lot more subtle than the tips of the fingers. So if your baby has a closed hand, that means you're only doing the bottom part and then tipping the fingers. And go all the way down to the wrist. Alright, so this is really subtle. Tips of the fingers and the inside of the hand. But you go all the way up the fingers on the inside. I almost didn't do that. And then in later layers, we're going to emphasize the tips. And I am going to go over the knuckles in this layer. With me, it normally depends on how difficult the knuckles are to make. If they're difficult, I procrastinate. And I'll do it in a later layer. And then I make a circle on the elbow with my paintbrush and blend. And this is another thing that I do in several layers. And then here, kind of similar, we're going to start at the heel. So I normally do a circle around the heel, and then I'll tip the toes like that. And then I just blend upwards on the entire foot, even that place where the blue undertones are going to be. We're going to emphasize the whole around the foot later. Make sure it doesn't look like there's edges or anything. I like to kind of go around the ankle a little bit. And then we do the top of the toes from, like, the entire top of the toes. See, I painted the entire toe. And then same kind of thing, circle around the knee. This one's a little bigger than the elbow, obviously. And blend. Layers, layers, layers. Don't go over there. Stop. I have Whitley over here. She looks so cute. Do the same thing on the other foot. I like to have a little more paint on my brush for the feet. And a lot of people do steps in different orders. Like, I know people that don't do this kind of blushing until they're completely done with the mottling. But I just like to do it in several layers, so it looks under the skin and on top of the skin at the same time. Especially with blushing, something that needs to stand out a little bit more. And now for what we originally came here for, mottling. If you're a newer person and you're not used to like holding the kit and stuff like that, you should probably bake this layer before you do the mottling, but I like to do it all at once. One, two, three. And this should be so thin that you don't feel like you need to blend it. Later layers of mottling that are a little bit thicker, we do blend though. But these, if you would blend them, it would just turn it would be like adding a pink layer to your baby or something. Not bad. Make sure you didn't really miss a spot. There we go. Long video. If you're still here, comment waffle muffin pancake mix. This is what the mottling looks like when it's settled. See, it's hardly noticeable. It just gives that skin, that texture kind of, you know, that translucent baby skin kind of look. It's fantastic. And we're not hitting the toes, just the tops of the feet. So yeah, then we let that dry and bake it for same time as always, 265 for 9 minutes. Love you guys. Bye.